but this is one of those bikes. So I know there's a little quick first test ride, but this is one of those bikes. You don't want to get off it. I want to ride it somewhere else. Wow. So morning YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. It's January. It's pretty much my first ride. It looks like a beautiful morning. It's actually bloody freezing. I expected high of 2 degrees this morning, which is beautiful. And you'll find me today on a bit of a test ride. I took the opportunity as my wife's bike's gone in for its MOT, and I thought, why not? Let's try something different. So here we are this morning on something quite special, I'm hoping. This is the Kawasaki Z900RS. Leading the game, I would say, in the modern classic retros. It's a 948cc, I think. It's about 130. No, I saw this yesterday. It's 109 brake horsepower, I think. But what they've done is, when they've sort of homologated it from the Z900, is that they've taken down the top end horsepower, but they've put all of the torque at lower revs. So I'm not going to baffle you with loads of details, mostly because I can't remember what they are. But we thought we'd just give you an instant first ride, first thoughts, first ride review type thing on this. I'm not really ridden this year. I'm not really ridden for about a month, so it's a bit weird having not ridden for a month to get on a 500 Rebel and then to get on this. But my initial thoughts is, it feels like it might be a bit of a nutter, but we'll find out over the next, well, I mean, I'm going to be on it for about an hour probably, but you're not going to be watching for an hour because that would be really dull. But initial thoughts are, I love the way it feels. I love the dual clocks, and although when I was watching sort of reviews and stuff, I thought that little LCD panel, the little TFT in the middle, might be a little bit hard to read. Actually, it's really nice and bright and very, very clear. It's flashing ice at me at the moment. Ice, ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun. That's what it's saying. I don't know if you can see that. What is that? Yeah, I'd love to boot up there and catch them up and show you what it is, but just about my entire family have been done for speeding on this little bit of road. So we'll just trickle along here. It's a joy of motorcycling. I'm not sitting in that queue, thank you very much. It sounds amazing. The sound this bike makes is really good. It's been a long time since I've ridden a 4. That is a particularly snappy clutch. Whether that's this model or all of them, I don't know. This is a question we will ask. A little bit more wind than I'm used to, obviously, because there's no protection at all. My face is freezing. Everything's getting bad by the wind. Woo! It's so smooth. Being used to riding twins and triples. Maybe we slow down a bit. I'll talk when we slow down a bit. I'm not sure if you can hear me. It's a little bit windy. Oh, my face. Cold face, cold face. I have a cold face. Fucking freezing face to be fair. My face is fucking freezing. It felt a lot warmer on the Rebel 500, which has just a tiny fly screen. And I think in this freezing cold weather, that was making a difference. But anyway, that's easily fixed. Easy peasy fix. So yeah, initial thought, I'm loving the clocks. The TFT display is crystal clear. Gear indicator, the time, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, that's all you need. And I love the twin analog clocks. I love it. I love a rev counter and a proper speedo. I don't know what the range is on here. I don't know if you can pull that up. We'll have a fiddle with the buttons. Oh look, we can. Look, what does this do? Ah, it's done 650 miles, this bike. Average MPG 50 miles to the gallon. So we're going to be getting 150, 160 miles out of a tank, which is plenty, I would have thought. Settling into it now, it's actually really very comfortable. I think for me, possibly you would want to set a little set of bar risers on just to give me a little bit more. Brakes work. Oh, come on. So it is so totally different from what I normally ride, but it is a real kickback to when you were younger maybe, and when you first got into motorcycling. This would be the sort of bike, well, if you're my age, this would be the sort of bike that inspired you. The questions I would be asking myself would be, can you do a big trip on it? Well, I don't see why not. There's luggage available. Yeah, well, I mean, there's full luggage systems available. I've seen them. There's minimal racks. If you watch TMF, he did a review on fitting luggage to his RS. It's got minimal racks, so when you take the boxes off, you can hardly even see that the rack is there, which is ideal, because it's not the sort of bike you'd want to have full luggage on all of the time or be covered in scaffolding. But it's so quiet and it's so smooth. But this is great, and this reminds me of my Enfield. So I had an Enfield Interceptor. So I had Royal Enfield 650 Interceptor, which I loved, but physically it was just a bit too small. Now this is a physically bigger version of that, and I loved my Interceptor and I went everywhere on it. So whether or not this is something, a bit of a departure from the norm for me, but maybe is the answer to what I've been looking for, which is a bike that you can get on and bimble down to the pub and bimble around the countryside on it, but has got the power and the legs and the comfort to go for longer. Maybe what we'll do is go and see if we can get a coffee, sit and have a coffee, show you the bike, and then we'll have a bimble back. I like the fact it's got a gear indicator. That's the one thing about the Rebel and the Speedmaster, is that you never really know what gear you're in. So when you compare this to like the Tiger 1200 or some of the bigger adventure bikes that have been my norm, they're so packed with kit. So this is obviously technically a lesser bike. It doesn't have all the gadgetry and wizardry, but as an ordinary rider, how much of that stuff do I actually use? How much of that stuff does anybody use? It's great to have 6 rider modes. How many of you that have got 6 rider modes on your bike ever change it? Or use more than 2? You might use rain mode if it's rainy. But then your brain's got a rain mode. Surely, so you just slow it down if it's raining. I don't know. And if you're a person that enjoys getting on a bike and feeling the bike and riding, this is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm getting into this bike already. It's making me smile. It's making me, you get all images in your head of zipping here, zipping there, just jumping on it. I've got some real proper thinking to do about what and when and how I ride, and what and when and how is the bike for me. In a way, part of me was hoping it was going to be disappointing and make the decision for me, but you know what, it isn't. And imagine this on a lovely hot summery day. Woo! Loving it. We're loving it, loving it, loving it. It's a shame it's so freezing cold. You don't really want to push it into any of these corners. A lot of these roads have been underwater the last few days, and now it's 2 degrees, and that is a tractor. Tractor! I want a nice warm sunny day. That's what I want. Then we push it along like this, and we pull it along like this. Heave! Go on, boys! Are they doing a dance routine? Are they practicing a dance routine, or they actually got hold of something? I can't see. What's going on? Let's see. Looks like they're walking into a really strong wind. Go on! Go on! Go on! Good job. What the fuck? I'll tell you what, they've made it 20 miles an hour through this village, and then what happens is there's a set of traffic lights and a little hill, so people accelerate to get up the hill, and they stand at the top of the hill and they clock you 4 miles an hour over the speed limit and send you a ticket. So this is where they stand, right here, because you accelerate to get up that hill. Flash, flash, thanks very much. You're done, son. Apart from the fact that my fingers are frozen, this is actually a very comfortable ride. The position is quite comfortable. Like I said, maybe just a little bar riser just to give me a little bit more uprightness. But actually my legs, now I'm 6'2", my legs are in a really comfortable position. Even more so than the Tiger, which is weird. And I've got 2 layers of thermals on, so if they were going to feel squished, it would be today, and they really don't. Bars feel comfortable, switch gear is easy, simple. Simple and easy to see. The horn indicators and the little menu button and the start and stop on the right. That's all you need, really. But I love the twin clocks, and like I said, the TFT is super clear. But I can't get over how smooth it is. The engine is so smooth. It's so smooth, it's like doing 24 miles an hour behind a Mercedes. 3.2 litres, that Mercedes. It's doing 24 miles an hour. I'd like to say thank you to Completely Kawasaki in Yeovil for letting me have this test ride, because they could have said no. The other bike I was interested in looking at the moment currently is between this and a Triumph Scrambler, which would be like a more nakedy, basic-y version of my Tiger, because the Tiger is a great bike and it does everything really, really well, apart from start when you want it to. But because it's so good, it can come across as a little bit dull. Now let's see how this does in 6th gear from 30 to nationals. Nationals! That's alright, but that's in 6th gear. To be fair, probably should have changed down. Oh, I can feel a coffee coming on. Might even be in time for breakfast and a bit of a warm-up. Let's have a look at the Kawasaki Z900RS.
hunting. I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Welcome back on board. Most important part of the test ride, checking on how it delivers when going for breakfast, and I can tell you that is a successful test. This bike really makes you want to crack it open and see what's what. Let's see what it does on the main roads. Because we've seen what it's like wending its way through town on the little A roads, and there you go. So it's a little bit windy, which is expected, but we're sitting here at motorway speeds quite happily. We're still enough in the snap to overtake. Really comfortable, really stable, no wobbling, no buzzing. This bike's amazing. And actually, although I'm feeling the wind and it's quite noisy, it's not pulling me off the bike. It's not making it uncomfortable. This bike's got a lot to offer, I'm telling you that right now. With a little fly screen and some heated grips, this bike would be stonking. It's really very, very good. There's not really anything about this bike that I don't like, but actually this is a lovely, lovely bike. It's a very comfortable place to be. The seat is comfortable, the engine is super smooth. It sounds great, it looks great. It's just a shame that it's so cold and icy today, because we couldn't really put it properly through any sort of paces. We've actually had to take it quite gently and be a little bit careful because it is slippy in the corners. But that final little bit there, we just wanted to test at motorway speeds, really not a problem. So if you were thinking, well that's great, but if I wanted to do my yearly or twice a year tours or camping trips, would I be able to do it? Then yes, you would. Need some luggage, some throw-over panniers and a bit of a top box on the back. Nice tank bag, nothing getting in the way of sticking a tank ring on there. I don't even know what to say. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful day. It's just freezing cold. But you can't have everything, can you? Hey. Well, thanks for joining us on this test ride. As I say, it's a real quick snapshot, first review type, what are my thoughts on the Z900RS, and I have to say, it's not disappointed me at all. It doesn't have rider modes, it doesn't have electronic suspension, it doesn't have cruise control. You know, do we need all those things, to be honest? We lost the 360. No more 360 footage for us. Thank you for joining me in this ride. Thank you to Completely Kawasaki in Yeovil for letting me test ride this bike while they MOT my wife's little Rebel. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can turn notifications off and I'll never bother you again. It's completely free, but it really helps me out, so I'd appreciate it if you'd push that. Apart from that, hopefully we'll see you on the next one when we're out and about, hopefully in glorious weather but not 2 degrees, because I can't feel my face. And we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much, we'll see you soon.